Oh, hey. Normally, sorry, we should have. Oh, hey. A new file here that I will let you listen now. Demo, hey. Boom, and bingo. Normally. A few months ago, I spent time analyzing Predator, a commercial spyware similar to Pegasus. I focused on its C2 protocol and how commands are digest. By the way, I published a blog post and a video that you can check on the channel. And there is something that I noted and set aside. This is the fact that there is an hidden dot class that seems to suppress the orange and green indicators introduced in iOS 14. Then this post came out from Jamf. They analyzed the same implant and found this method in the SpringBoard, but that's the what, not the how. How could you intercept a function from a distant process? How could you modify its behavior at runtime without touching the code? And that's exactly what I want to build myself. A little disclaimer, all what I did it on my own jailbroken device in an isolated environment for the sake of security research and create educational content. So if we go back to Binary Ninja, we'll see that we have few abstraction used. Just looking at the code, it's like really easy to understand that we have the SpringBoard process which is targeted, and that is the symbol with the class and the method name which are targeted here. We have like few abstract use like getHooker, getTask, and find remote Objective-C. And that getTask is really interesting because it assumes that we need to have like the task of the SpringBoard process. This is like our starting point. What we will try to reproduce in that video is that we will try to use like entitlements to get the SpringBoard task and see how we could hook into handle new domain data in the same way that Predator does. What we won't do now is go to each function and subfunction to see how it's done. I will try to explain you with simple images, schema, diagram to show how it should work, and then we'll try to reproduce it. Let me introduce you a new concept called hardware breakpoint.
ARM64 has debug registers built into the CPU. BVR holds the address to break on. BCR is the control register. We enable it for EL0, which is userland.
Predator is able to target a specific address and the new domain data in our case. And when the breakpoint will be hit, we could have a callback that will get back the whole thread state with the registers, and like you can modify the whole thread state. Then there is like a few approaches that we could use to bypass the function, for instance, or to let it behave in a way that is not expected to.
On ARM64, x0 is the first argument of any function call. In Objective-C, that's always self, the object the message is sent to.
Now let's take a look at the thread state. And this is like that struct that will be passed to the callback when the breakpoint is hit. And we see that the 28th first register, the function pointer, the stack pointer, the link register, the program counter, okay? And now if I go back to that function, that will be like a callback that will be hit with the breakpoint, we will see that x0, which is the thread state in that context, will be like first we will load the first field of that struct, so x0, and it will be put at like null, 0.
So when SpringBoard calls handle new domain data on its SB sensor activity data provider, the hook fires. x0 becomes 0, and the call becomes nil handle new domain data. And in Objective-C, a message sent to nil is silently ignored. The function never executes. So here's what we need to build. Our agent runs as a daemon on the device. It reaches into SpringBoard's process through a Mach task port, sets a hardware breakpoint, and listens for exceptions. When the breakpoint fires, it modifies the thread state and replies. SpringBoard keeps running. It never knows anything happened.
So now I would like to show you some snippets of the code that I use for that agent. As I said, we won't use a kernel primitive here. We will assume that we have that. What we try to do here is to replicate what we saw on Predator, not having a full working agent. We want to isolate the technique, try to make it work, and learn from that.
Step 1. Find SpringBoard. We enumerate all processes with sysctl and match the name. With the PID in hand, we call task for PID to get a Mach port into SpringBoard's address space. This is the call that gives us full control over another process. BVR holds the address we want to break on. BCR enables the breakpoint for both user and kernel mode. Then we push this debug state to every thread in SpringBoard using thread set state. No code is patched, no memory is modified. The CPU itself will trap when any thread hits that address. Step 4. The exception handler. Before arming the breakpoint, we set up a Mach exception port on SpringBoard's task. When the breakpoint fires, the kernel suspends the thread and sends us an exception breakpoint message. Our handler receives it, reads the thread state, calls the callback, and replies with the modified state. SpringBoard resumes, never knowing it was interrupted. So the handler calls a callback. But what should that callback actually do? There are two ways to kill a function from outside. Both approaches kill the indicator. The difference is that nil messaging lets the function enter and silently return nil, while program counter equals link register skips the function entirely. I went with program counter equals link register. And the callback itself? 2 lines. Get the link register. That's the return address. Set the program counter to it. The function returns instantly before executing a single instruction of its body. Now to actually run this on the device, we also need the right entitlements. Task for PID allow gives us the right to request a Mach task port for any process, including SpringBoard. But having the right isn't enough. The kernel also checks who's asking. If the caller isn't a platform binary, the request is rejected. That's what platform application does. It marks our binary as a platform binary, the same trust level as Apple's own daemons. Without it, task for PID fails even with the entitlement. And com.apple.private.tcc allow with KTCC service microphone bypasses TCC entirely. We get access to the mic without a user prompt, without a consent dialog, nothing.
And now it's time for demo. First, we are on an iPhone X on iOS 16.7.12. This is a jailbroken iPhone. Here we have a few terminals and the code of the agent. First, I will tune the phone. I'll try to connect into SSH. Okay, let me type the password, and now if I do ls, okay, I'm connected to the phone. Okay, so in my code I have a bunch of script that I can use to do several things. So we will use the first script will be like deploy on that port. So we'll ask for the password again, and it will like build the code and install it on the phone. It will be installed at that path. So let's just check. Bim. So the agent is on the phone. So now what we'll do is to run to server. Okay. And now I have another script for recording for 5 seconds. So I will just open the phone and we'll try to see if there is an indicator or no. So hey, we try for the demo. Hey. Normally, sorry, we should have hey. A new file here that I will let you listen now. Demo. Hey. Boom. And normally, that's it. We have like our little agent running on the phone and bypassing the indicator. So yeah, a typical like spyware on the market has thousands of primitives, vulnerabilities chained. And yeah, I learned a lot by learning to isolate each of them. And yeah, let me which one you would like to see on the next video, maybe like a kernel exploit or something like that, or just like learn how to work with kernel primitives. I would be very happy to just do that for you guys, and let's see how that video goes. And if we reach like 1K views, maybe I will consider to share those snippet of code with you guys. So yeah, see you.